strongly suggest that you do go on Twitter and look up hashtag AKEdChat. And as I'm talking about it, she's actually logging on right now, but Sue Ackerman hosted a really fantastic conversation yesterday among Alaska teachers, and it was a lot of fun. So go ahead and just share about yourself in the chat. Ooh, hey Nate, Ed Tech for North Slope. I'd love to connect with you. I am Ed Tech for YKSD. Hey Ashton, Lad, Laverne, Tanana. This is definitely a very Fairbanks group. Welcome, everyone. All right. And then hello, Brian Buffington, our Georgia Peach tonight. Welcome. Thank you for joining us so late.
It's my pleasure to be here. I mean, it is truly a party on the East Coast. We're good.
Oh, and then hello, Dee. I didn't see you join, but welcome. Dee works with YKSD with me. Karen, welcome, our trusty member. She's here every single week. Love it. Hey, Sue, we were talking about your AKEdChat earlier and how well it went last night. Welcome, Christina. First year in Alaska. Nice.
Sorry, there's an intern. That's pretty impressive.
Oh, there's an intern on? I missed that one. That's exciting too.
Yeah, from UAF. Yay!
I have a UAF intern in my class right now, but not in here. So good job. I'm going to tell her that someone else attended.
Yeah, very cool. Welcome, everyone. We're so glad that you're here. If you want access to this slide deck, you can go to that bit.ly, which is bit.ly/GEG AK launch, and it has the slide deck in for you. First of all, so happy you guys are here. It is a busy time for everyone. I feel like whenever I ask somebody how they're doing, it's like a collective, like, oh, we're surviving, like crazy response because of everything that's going on right now and how overwhelmed we all are. So it really means a lot that you have taken time, your free time this evening to join us for our official launch. So GEG Alaska, we've been hosting professional development over the summer, but as of tonight, we are an official organization for the state of Alaska, and we're really excited that you're here to experience this with us. And then we're also really excited to have Brian Buffington from Georgia as special guest, who will be doing the bulk of our presentation tonight. Along with our special guest, Brian, I just really want to shout out to the GEG Alaska team that we have on tonight. Tana, Tammy, myself, Chelsea, Laura, and Ashton. We're all part of the GEG Alaska leadership team who's been starting this group, trying to get it running off the ground, and we'll be sharing with you guys tonight what we're going to offer in the future. So our agenda for tonight is just an introduction of what GEG Alaska is and what we plan to do in the future. A peaches and salmon, professional development with Brian Buffington, and then ways for you guys to connect with us in the future. So first things first, what is a Google Educator Group? So I first heard about Google Educator Groups, or GEGs, through the Google Trainer Program. There has been a huge push in the United States for each state to have a Google group where teachers can just come together and collaborate, empower each other when using Google tools, and really be able to share and learn together. So everyone on the leadership team, this is not a paid position. It's not even anything that we're employed by Google. It's just we're really passionate about Google tools. We are really passionate about connecting with other Alaskan educators, and we want to bring together a community where we can interact and connect with each other very, very easily. So that is the goal for GEG Alaska. Then Tammy.
Make sure I'm on mute there all the way. So we do have our website here, and our website, Chelsea's going to go ahead and go there right now. And this is the really cool thing, like Google Sites lets you do this a couple different ways. Because when Chelsea and I were talking about this before the meeting, and she was saying, you know, I'll show this and this and this, I was like, oh, well, that's a different way than I get to those. So you've got a couple of ways to get to all the different features that we have on here. Of course, this is the way Chelsea looked at it. Up there just below the red banner right there. You can get to each one of those very easily by clicking on that link. And if you're more visual like I am, if you scroll down, then you can see that you can get to each one of those features by clicking on these. So if you click on upcoming events, you actually will get like maybe a little graphic that tells about what we're doing. But if you keep scrolling down, then you also get the calendar. If you don't care to see the graphics for the upcoming things and you just want to look at the calendar, if you go back to the website or just use the link way at the top, you can go to just the calendar and it shows you what events that we have coming up. And then if you want to, from our website, go to the GEG for the GEG Alaska group, our group, the discussion. Click on that little green dot, that green circle there, and that's going to allow you to join our discussion. And it is so cool being a member of that discussion. That's not my part, so I'm not going to talk about the whole thing, but I just want to encourage you to join because that can help you out in a heartbeat. And then let's see, what else did we have on there? Member celebrations. Yeah, that is so cool. So if you let us know what happened, like what milestone you have reached in your Google life, whether it's like something with the title, like you became level 1 certified or something, or if you just said, hey, I finally got my Google Drive all organized. Hey, you can just let us know and we will celebrate you because that's something to be celebrated too. So let's see, is there anything else there that I'm missing? If we scroll down, we have the calendar, the group, the upcoming events. Oh, and oh gosh, I can't forget the YouTube channel, right? So all of our events are recorded, including the one we're doing right now. They're all recorded and they're all in our YouTube channel. So you can get to that YouTube channel from our website. And did you have any questions or on the website? Did anybody see any? Then I think we're good. We're ready to move on.
Hi, so I'm going to talk about the Google group. I highly recommend joining it if you haven't already. One of the first places you want to stop on the Google group is the member introductions. So if you're not familiar with Google Groups, which I'm going to assume most of you are, but it's a place where you can, it's kind of like email, but you can have lots of different conversations and you get an email notification, so you can follow the thread. So the member introductions are great because it's a good way to connect with other Alaskan educators. There's a place for you to ask questions. Lots of resources on here, professional development links. So anything that we do is posted on there. So any like summer, any of the professional development that we already did this summer, the links are posted on there. There's tips and yeah, bragging. Then there, like lots of different questions, which I really like because I'm sure Chelsea and the other tech director can testify to this. It's nice when educators find answers without bugging the tech department. So you can solve some problems right here. Awesome. And one of the awesome, great things about joining our Google group is there's a place to sign up to get a sticker. And I have some right here. Chelsea sent them. They're awesome. And you can see Brian has some as well. So if you join the group, be sure to fill in that form to get an awesome sticker.
And I get the honor of introducing our guest speaker, Brian Buffington, who I have known actually a really long time because I came from Georgia. I remember way back, and it probably embarrasses him when I say it, but I remember way back. I remember because he was actually really not a very good speaker when I first got to know him. And, you know, it just goes to show if you work hard enough with that, you can get better. And he is amazing. My principal looks for ways to find money to make sure that he can come. I don't know why I'm emotional about it, but I really appreciate everything he does for educators because it's 11:15 at night. And he's in Georgia volunteering for us. He is not paid. He's here because he cares about you and he wants to inspire you and he wants to show you cool things. So I'm sorry. That's just how I am. But yeah, he's been to our school twice, and you can see from the pictures, he does amazing things. He's given 2 tips just in the past at our past PD. One was a teleprompter, and the other was the writing screen thing that the math teacher was so excited about. So he comes for PD, and then he says all this other stuff that you're like, wow, that was just as good as what he planned to say. So you have to listen when he's talking because you never know what he's going to say. So anyway, with all that, I'm going to pass it to Brian because he's amazing. Thank you for being here.
Wow, Tana. Let me tell you right now, this is totally my pleasure. You know, I got the invite. I think Tana, Chelsea, they said, you know, they gave me an invite to come here, and I was like, any chance I get to work with people in Alaska is a chance I'm going to take you up on. And what's cool about working with friends in Alaska is I just keep making more friends, and, you know, paid opportunities, they do happen. And this is just fun. This is just fun to me. And we're going to have some fun today. So I just saw Ashton Morrison says, Brian, why aren't you coming to LAD? I don't know what LAD is. So who can tell me what is that all about?
That is right next door to us. Like literally you're at our school and you look over at LAD.
Well, I'm so sorry that, you know, I don't know anybody at LADS, but I do now. So we'll make that connection. So I'm going to share my screen. We'll do my entire screen. Make sure I'm not shopping for fancy underwear. When you do this, by the way, that's a buff nugget right there. When you're sharing your entire screen, there's nothing wrong with fancy underwear, but when you share your screen, that can be embarrassing. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's do this one. That looks good. Yeah. Y'all, you see mine now? It's looking good. It's looking fresh. So this, I'll put it in big mode. Let's go in big mode. There we go. I spent probably about 1 minute coming up with this title for this presentation, just because I thought it was so gross to actually eat those 2 things in one place, peaches and salmon. Has anybody ever eaten those 2 things together? Just curious. Don't ever do that. Tammy, good idea. Don't ever do that. You've got all my information here on the left. My website, email address. Like I really, teachers email me, I will email you back. Like even if you don't even know me, even my friends at LAD or wherever that place was, I will email you back. But what you really want, if there's like that one thing you could do to really keep up with me and the work that I'm doing, is just get my newsletter. It goes out like once a month. I promise. I'm not going to spam you. Sometimes, I mean, I'll give away some stuff at times. It's really, I'm sharing useful tech tips from my friends in Alaska, friends from Georgia, all over. So that I highly, if you don't follow me on social media, that's the one thing right there. I'm going to call it the Buff Nugget. That's actually the new name for my newsletter, the Buff Nugget. So how did I get acquainted with Alaska people? I mean, I feel like I have to share this. By the way, before you teach people, before you work with people, you get people to trust you, they got to get to know you. Okay. And I already know that you guys have started school here for a while, right? You guys have started school, and hopefully you've gotten to know your students, know your parents, but I'm telling you, it's still worth it. Like jump in, let those parents know you, let those students know you, be vulnerable. Vulnerability is a huge asset to an educator. And I feel like we can do more of that. I'm trying to be vulnerable when I talk to people, talk about my experiences, good or bad. But I really got hooked up with Alaska. I had a Georgia friend. Him and his family moved up there to do mission work in Anchorage. I had a connection with a school. I was there, and then I forgot that Tana was actually in the interior. So I got to meet Tana, meet some contacts there. And you may know Luke Meinert. Meinert, is that his last? I'm trying to pronounce his name right. And then also I got coffee with a wonderful lady, Amanda Adams. She's in the Kenai Peninsula, and got to know her and got to really just have a love for Alaska and educators and the people there. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I feel like Alaskan educators are hungry for innovation. They're hungry for whatever works, what is going to work. And those things that don't work, we got to move on. And I just love working with all the educators in Alaska. So let's move on here. Talk about music. I love music, so I'm just kind of telling about myself. I make no money with music. I'll be very honest. I make 0.003 cents every time you stream my music. That's a third of a penny, everybody. But I write some fun music. This one right here is called The Noisy Goose. It's actually about an experience there in Alaska. And it's right there north of, I forgot the town name. It's near the fairgrounds, north of Anchorage. There's a little restaurant there, but I wrote a song about it. It's on, go check it out. Palmer, thank you, Karen. This is something new I'm doing. I do a podcast. By the way, if you ever had dreams of doing a podcast, let me tell you right now, everybody who's watching this right now could do a podcast. If like, well, Brian, I just want to try, you're like, Brian, I got a lot of spare time. I want to do a podcast. Hey, I use a tool called Anchor. And I'm telling you, it works in your web browser. You could be using a Bobo microphone, like a $10 one. Just do your own thing. It's just fun. I do it for fun. And I get to talk with people. They teach me things. I teach them things. And again, I don't make any money from podcasting. It's really just a hobby. Shouldn't education really be about just discovering? Let's do some things that are fun. And I know there's limitations to that, but I really sincerely, I want those opportunities for educators, but mainly students. I want those opportunities for students to explore. We're going to get to that in a second. Here you go. I show this picture everywhere I go because this is what I'm after. This picture right here. Now, I know one thing about Alaska. It's very diverse, okay? I'm from Georgia, very diverse place in Georgia. South Georgia, this is my first gig. It was teaching middle school science with an audience that does not look like me. They have, different home lives, many different things going on. But let me tell you right now, we made lots of connections that year. And it took a little while to figure this out. But right there, what's one of the first things you notice in that photo? So, and that you can put in the chat box, you can do whatever you like. Joy. Man, I'm telling you, I love that word. I love joy. And I want you all to experience more joy this year because I'm telling you, it is tough. I want to thank you so much for doing the very best with what you've got. That's all I'm asking of anybody this year is do the very best with what you got. And you got to keep yourself healthy. You got to keep your family intact. Joy is the word of the year, Ashton. Thank you. That's her word of the year. But they do have joy. You know why they have joy? Because I'm not talking in this picture. Yeah, people, they usually they get a full day of Brian. They like to hear me talk some, but my best part of that day is letting people do and letting them apply in some kind of meaningful way. And in this picture, there's very little technology. There's a light bulb, a stick, and a ball, everybody. A light bulb, a stick, and a ball. Most of Alaska, we have resources like that. I know some places maybe not. I've seen some TV shows about Alaska. It's like way out there. But what's going on right here is these students, they are learning how the earth rotates around the sun. It's not to scale, by the way, because sometimes we get caught up in the formalities. It's not to scale. Please, if you're that person, this is not the year to be super formal about jack squat. I'm telling you, let's just do the best of what we got. So what they're doing is they're twirling that stick around the sun to know how the earth rotates around the sun. And actually, in relation to the tilt, so they're twisting it too, like the 24, the earth turns on its axis every 24 hours. They're doing that with the little stick. They're also moving it around the light bulb, which I don't know about Alaska people, but most Georgia adults, they don't even know how this works. It's because they got a worksheet when they were in 8th grade. Okay, a YouTube video. Hey, I love YouTube videos. But I'm telling you right now, that is a lot more than a YouTube video. So what kind of opportunities can we give our students this year to do hands-on application, and relevancy to give you joy. Because this right here gave me joy. And guess, by the way, guess who's doing all the work here? This is my favorite day, guys. This is my favorite day. And I know that you have so much pressure. I'm just asking people to take a chance. If this is not you, like, Brian, this is weird. I don't teach science. I teach math, whatever it is. Like, let them have some opportunity to do something relevant and hands-on with whatever subject matter you teach. I'm going to tell you a story. This is my son, Jet. He's asleep right now. He's got school tomorrow. He's about to wake up because I'm going to bring the guitar out here in a second. And he came up to me and says, Dad, I want to buy some things. I'm like, son, you're going to have to get a job. Well, he's 13. He can't really have a job. And so what he's doing, he's making kindle wood, which is like big wood. You make it small. You know, some people here in Georgia, they don't know how to start fires like you people in Alaska. They just get big wood and they put a match underneath big wood and they just think it's going to light. It doesn't work that way, right? You got to build it. It's a thing. Well, so what he's got in one hand there is a bundle of wood that he has cut in small pieces. And he also has some fat lighter from a pine tree. All right, so fat lighter, that's kind of like, you know, just nod your head. You ever seen any of that before? Pine tree, it's a stump. It's a stump of a pine tree. All the sap comes down. It's highly flammable. It's awesome. Well, this is what he has done by giving him this opportunity to start a business. Some really cool things happen. I'm a really big fan of entrepreneurship. For kids to be successful, y'all do this. So, by the way, I'm going to give you some buff nuggets. I'm going to give you a couple little tips here. But this is kind of big picture. I want to inspire you and not just show you a couple tools. I feel like a lot of you, your toolkit's pretty heavy right now. I want to show you maybe how to rethink how you use the tools. And I'll show you a couple of my favorites. So for kids to be successful, I think one great part of this year is you're just trying to build them up by level. So the very top, you have collaboration, communication. Do you know content? Well, she's already wearing my shirt over there. I see my friend over there. She's got I teach things that can't be Googled, okay? Content looks different. Like, do you know content? I mean, Google knows content. So what do we do with it? Critical thinking, creative innovation, confidence. So I'm going to tell you a story, Chelsea. Chelsea says she likes stories. So my son, he's 13. And I think if you can give them opportunities, I think entrepreneurship is a fun way to give them opportunity, even though if it's very virtual and kids like talking about money. I don't know why, they just do. It's very their culture. But collaboration, my 13-year-old, I've never seen my 13-year-old actually work with my 9-year-old on anything ever. But you know what? They started talking about making money. And they're over there they're collaborating. Like, you know, what's cool about it is they're trying to trying to play on each other's strengths. My daughter, she's a 9-year-old, but she writes better than the 13-year-old. He's like, you're going to write, girl. You're going to write, and you're going to do the story about our business, because storytelling is important. And he's over there doing the chopping the wood and all that stuff. So they're collaborating that way. But guess what? I'll show you something else cool. They collaborated with a local vendor, a guy who owns an outdoor shop. He gave them a free graphic design lesson. He actually designed their logo with them. Collaboration. Do you think there's people in your community who would love the opportunity to do something to help your community? Yes. I'm telling you, hey, Tammy, Tana, everybody who's watching right now, you could contact me and say, Brian, I want you to Zoom bomb, Google Meet bomb my students, and I want you to inspire them and talk about whatever. I'm game. I'm there, because that's 5 minutes of my day. And there's 20 of you right here, 23 people. That's 5 minutes in each of you. I feel like that's a great use of my influence. And and there's people like me all across your community who want to help. Communication. She had to write a story. They have to communicate. They're making video content, all that. Content, expertise. If you're going to sell something, you got to know things. So my son, he had to go. We found a guy who had a forest, and he said, hey, we'll let you harvest our wood. But my son had to become an expertise at what does the stump look like? What's the best way to harvest it? What kind of tools do I need to harvest this wood? And guess where he's going? He's going to YouTube. All these very practical things. Let me tell you right now, this is a gift. And I don't know if I'm going to go to every one of these categories here tonight. But when this whole thing's over, when this COVID thing is over, if they didn't learn about the Pythagorean theorem the way you wanted them to learn, if they didn't get your Alaskan history test like you thought they would, but you had them level up on these things, you should like do a happy dance, because this is the big stuff. This is the stuff that can't be Googled right here. This is the stuff that can't be Googled right here when you're teaching your students. So feel good. But I really think this should be a poster and somebody just a reminder. How do we get our students level up in these? I have some people here probably K-5. They're on those lower levels, but hey, you got to build them up. And that's just the process. So I'm going to show you a few buff nuggets. And of course, now some of you've seen some of these before, but hopefully I can kind of maybe talk about it in a different way. I'm going to start with my first one is by the way, I want to start today. Some of you are at different areas. I saw your list. People were talking about your Google expertise. Some of you were Google newbies. Some of you are like Google ninjas. But I think every teacher needs a win. Every teacher needs a win right now on Tuesday night. Yeah, at 7:30 for you. So if you've never done this before, open up a new tab. If you can do this wherever you are right now, open up a new tab. I want to show you a cool trick. Now, what's fun is I think Chelsea actually talked about this or tweeted this out. She said her Google Drive gets messy because she knows this trick. It may have been you, may have been someone else. I'm about to get your Google Drive so messy. I'm about to get it so messy. And you're going to thank me for it. So doc.new, watch what happens. If you're in the Chrome browser, by the way, if you're like in the Internet Explorer or something, I still love you, but you're going to have to minimize that. And we got to crank up some other kind of browser, okay? Some Netscape Navigator. Y'all remember those? So doc.new, watch what happens. doc.new in the address bar, hit enter, and you're making a new doc. You're making some notes. They're in that meeting with your admin, with your students. You're doing a collaborative document with your students, and you didn't have to go click 5 times to get to that. So Google has made these shortcuts. Doc.new, it truly is magic. But it works for all of them. Sheet.new, plural or singular. Sheet.new. And I know some of you like to give those quizzes. Like, you love quizzes, so you're making them forms. Like, just because you're virtual, you're like, I'm still giving them a quiz. Form.new. And what this does, it just puts it right there in your Google Drive. It's in the main folder, and like I said, it gets messy. You got to go back and organize it however you like. So maybe a 10-minute organizing session every week. That'll do you, okay? Had forms.new ready to type, Tana. That's right. Also sites. I'm a big fan of sites. I know who was our site master a second ago. Was that Tammy? You were our Google site master. She's like, yeah, don't call her a master, but she was doing great. So that's good stuff. I'm going to get out of that. Let's go back here. Where's this at? Oh, Gmail templates. You guys, some of you are repeating yourself all the time. I don't want you to repeat yourself all the time because you're having to do a lot more email with parents, and it's the same stuff over and over again. You have to copy. Who here has ever had to copy paste an email? Copy paste an email. You got to open up 2 browser windows. So let me just go and hook you up. I'm going to hook you up. Someone here is showing her beautiful face here. Jody, I'm doing this for you. Okay, this goes out to you wherever you are. Now, if you go to your Gmail, if you use Gmail, if you don't, just watch and be envious. So go to gmail.com. Outlook's cool too. Like, I'm not that person. I know somebody was making a Mac joke earlier. Like, actually everything's so browser based now, it doesn't even really matter. You just open up Chrome and you're good. So I want you to go to your email and then click the sprocket settings. And then once you go to settings, I think mine's acting kind of weird here. By the way, some of you are very uneasy about my inbox. Please don't be. There's like 15,000 emails in there. I promise it's not one of yours. If you click the settings and then go to see all settings, I work with a lot of teachers, and when they see an inbox that large, like some of you like went in like full body shiver. Like you saw that and you're not going to sleep well tonight because you know that a man in Georgia has that many unread emails. Now, if you go to your settings and go to advanced, I love this. We're going to go to advanced. Some of you maybe not done this. Advanced. And we have to enable templates. It's like, I don't know why you had to enable this. Like it's like we don't trust ourselves or something. It's not that we're not going to break anything. So enable it. You can obviously see here, I turned off the unread message icon. That is off on my Gmail. Ashton has 20,000 emails. She's winning. All right, so do this for me. Now that we have it on, go to compose. Let's make an email. Now you can do, so by the way, if you're using Microsoft for your work email, you can be playing along in your personal. All right. So I want you to compose something. So we're going to call this, by the way, I need some interaction here because if you're live, you got to have interaction. You guys have been really well, doing really good. You're interacting with me in the chat there. What if you have to email all the time, like over and over again, the same thing? Maybe it's to parents, maybe it's to students. What do you got?
When I'm teaching a class and it's over and I send out the email that says like, you did everything, you get the credit, but I personalize it just a little bit, but the main part is the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they used to call this canned email, and they're like, well, that's just kind of a negative sounding thing. And so what we do is we have a template, but then we tweak it, like Tammy said, to make it more personalized at the top. All right. So we're going to just have a subject. I'm going to call it, Google Classroom procedures or Google Classroom help. Just kind of play along here if you've never done this before. And then I'm going to say, do this. Tell them what to do. This is your template, by the way. Do this. You can put pictures in there. You could put animated GIFs in here. Okay, hold on. This is a true buff nugget. Tana didn't get this one. You didn't get this one. Okay, so this is just a little. This is like, this is just a little nugget. So y'all take a brain break for a second. Just watch this. Watch what I'm about to do. I'm about to blow your minds. So I'm actually going to jump into Classroom. I think I'm okay on time. Maybe 5-10 minutes. And so let's say I open up a class. I'll do the Brian class. So Screencastify. So let me set it this way. If you're tired of repeating yourself, we have an email template. Also, if you're tired of repeating yourself, make some videos. But some of you just need to make really small ones because you just need directional ones. Just like click here, click this, especially parents. Parents, to do this, to access this, click here, click this, students. So you don't have to have your voice for that. If it's a GIF, you don't have to have your voice. Some of you are like, well, Brian, I hate my voice. I sound like, Mickey Mouse or whatever you sound like. Hey, that's just what you sound like. And so you can take a break if you want. So I'm going to Screencastify. It's probably going to blow up my computer when I do this. I'm going to do browser tab, no microphone, no webcam. This is cool. No microphone, no webcam. Watch what I'm going to do. Record. So I just showed them the steps. With my mouse, I'll show them where to click on things. So you guys see it right there? It's that was 7 seconds long. And we'll play it again. Kind of see the action there. But over here at download, by the way, this is screen. If you're not a Screencaster master, Screencastify is one of my favorites, and a lot of people use Loom. whatever you use, just use it. But right here it says export animated GIF. And this comes with the free version. I'm about to get crazy. I'm going to export that. Okay, there it goes. It's doing a little magic. Christine, are you okay? Someone go help her. She's really, really excited about this. Okay, it's exporting. We're kind of like watching paint dry here. Leola, you getting pretty excited about this? I said that name right? Leola?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to download the GIF. And since it's a picture, you can just copy it. It's really an image. So I'm going to, I got to find my file. I'm going to copy it. And then, oh man, I'm going to go to my email. I'm just going to paste it. Oh, actually, don't do that, Brian. Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, I just bombed that one. I'm just going to insert photo. Let's just do that. Upload. There it is, Brian GIF. You know what we call this? We call this a bathroom-ready video. Because there's no audio. And we're not going to do a poll about who's watching video content on the porcelain there in Alaska, but it's a thing. But really, that's just kind of a joke. This is helpful. So we made a template, and we just whoever needs help, boom, right there. Whoever needs help, we just send this to them. So I'm gonna so here's our next step. You click the snowman on the bottom right and go to templates, save draft as template. Now we have that special button, save as a new template. So check this out. I'm gonna start scratch. I'm gonna do a new email. A parent needs help. A student needs help. I'm gonna make a new email, compose. 3 dots on the bottom right. Templates. Guess what's there? Because I just did that thing. Google Classroom Help. I clicked it, and there's my GIF. It better be showing up. There it is. Yep. So it works, even in Georgia. Now, if you're in the boondocks in Alaska, it may take you an extra 5 minutes, but we have places like that in Georgia too.
Brian, this is Nate Freeman at North Slope, way up in the northernmost city in Alaska.
Hey, Nate, glad you're with us.
Yeah. Can you, you lost me when you said click on the snowman. I'm not seeing that on my Gmail. Can you just take a step back and do that again, please?
Hey, I appreciate you just being vocal. And we have the freedom in this place to do that. And hopefully I helped set that up so you felt comfortable doing that. So in Compose, when you compose an email, Nate, you know, this screen right here, I call this the snowman. That's just Georgia for 3 dots. Right here by the trash can. Click that. And if you turned on that template thing, you had to turn that on in the settings, advanced. Nate, you see it there? You feeling good about it?
Yeah, that's good. I had to expand the email out when it was just in its little section that I couldn't see the snowman, and I like that. The snowman, the waffle, and the hamburger.
Well, actually, I have another name. I'll teach you guys one more. This is, let me get to Classroom. You guys could just laugh about this. On the top left, you guys call this the hamburger. I call this Little House on the Prairie sleeping arrangements. This is like Ma, Pa, and Laura, and it's just a cold night, and they're trying to stay warm. And there you go. 3 lines. Ashton, she doesn't get fancy. Ashton says 3 lines. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, how's my time? By the way, I don't want to get too carried away here. I need at least 3 or 4 minutes at the end. So this 5 include Does that include my 3 to 5? Okay, I'll do one.
You have about 5. You
Okay,
have about 7:45, 11:45-ish.
Okay, let's do this.
But
I'll just
you know,
close-
if you're rolling, I don't think anybody's really going to complain too much.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know?
Yeah. So this
You're the one who's up the latest, so
I am up pretty late. I want to give you guys value for having me today. I'll just demonstrate the teleprompter real quick. So you guys haven't seen this, just the wonderful people at Canada got to see this. So teleprompt.me. Not everybody's like I want people to make videos, but I also want to make concessions for teachers who feel uneasy about it. So teleprompt.me is a web browser based teleprompter. And you could write your words out verbatim and have something to read while you do your videos. So I'm going to refresh this. It uses my microphone. Watch how it works. Everybody watch. I'm going to use my mic. I enjoy long walks on the Seward Beach while listening to Johnny Cash. I also love Swiss cheese. Okay, so if there's a teacher here who's kind of been hesitant to make video content, okay. Well, actually, Ackerman just brought it up another level. He or she said karaoke. What a wonderful idea. It's a great, yeah. And that's free. You don't have to download anything or feel like someone's gonna, mess up your drive. So that's just a little website. Very cool. And then I'll just close with virtual guest speakers. Gal, please. Again, this year, we don't know exactly how much learning is going to happen, like based on like traditional ways. We're just trying to get as much learning as possible. If you want to do your students a favor and get a 5-minute Coke break, virtual guest speakers every week. Go find someone. Say, hey, please talk to my students. A job, a profession, and you get a Coke break. No, really. And take me up on it. I would love to do that. I'd love to do that. So Ashton said she'll help anybody with Flipgrid. Thank you, Ashton, for doing that. And I'm going to sing y'all a song. I want to give away some stuff. I'm going to give you a song. So this is the Buff Swag giveaway. So what I'm asking here, I'm going to give away 3 shirts. And so you guys want to do the sprinkler, but it's going to be a little more involved than that. I'm going to sing a song. I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen. If I can, there he goes. If I'm intelligent enough to do that. There we go. Am I big? Y'all see me big now? Good. Y'all need to see me big. Grab the guitar. I'm going to move the chair for this. All right, so this is what's going to happen. I'm going to sing my song, The Catfish Dance. And in order to win this shirt, it's going to require some movement. If you need a modification, just hold on to your desk or something. And this is, if you have like an Apple Watch, you just put on your exercise button and count this for your exercise for today. But we're going to do the catfish dance. I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to pick my favorite 3 catfish dancers. I'm going to mail you a shirt. Okay. And it's your job to email me. You got my email address. You email me, says, Brian, I want a shirt, and I'll send you the details. So this is how you do the dance. Here we go. Y'all see me okay here? Okay, here, let me put that up. There we go. So we can just practice sitting, but then you have to stand really to do it. It's going to be kind of weird. But wherever you're at, your family's going to think you're ridiculous. And that's okay. And this is not a requirement. All right, here we go. Ooh, So you put one hand up in the air. So put a hand up in the air, everybody. Practice. Now this is your catfish dance. This is the catfish dance. And then you got to wiggle it around like a fish that's scared. Wiggle it. Okay, there you go. And then while you're wiggling, this is tough. That's why you got to stand. And then you put one foot up in the sky. Now my foot, I'm still wiggling. I don't know if y'all can see me. I'm wearing shorts in Georgia, but y'all see I don't know if that's a good angle for me, but you got to wiggle that leg. That's your tail of the fish, the salmon. That's the salmon. So yeah, you put one hand up in the air, yeah, and then you wiggle it around like a fish that's scared, yeah. and then oh wait. And then let me make sure I got it right here. You put one hand up in the air and you wiggle it around like a fish that's scared. Oh yeah, yeah. You put one hand up in the sky, then you got to put up in the sky. Put the hand up in the sky, and then you bring it down low like a church fish fry. You got to get low. You got to get low like a church fish fry down there. I don't know if y'all do fish fries up in Alaska. Then you got to sway your body. You got to sway it. Sway your body side to side. You make a jump, and you're doing it right. You're doing the catfish. So we're just going to do a verse and a chorus. And you guys, thank you so much for having me. I'll pick my 3 favorite catfish dancers, and I'm out of breath already. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Is this something new? Is this like a new thing? I mean, y'all done this before? Okay, here we go. I'm going to sing you the song. I'll tell you when it's catfish time. So you just kind of enjoy the verse. I'll tell you when to catfish. Here we go. Way down south on the riverside lived a girl named May and her boyfriend Clyde. They had a dance like none before that could make the catfish jump on the shore. It was a secret dance and nobody knew. They were out there paying the dues. They were doing the catfish. Wiggle, wiggle. All right, I want to see y'all wiggle. Wiggle, everybody. Wiggle. Do the catfish. Wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle. That's right. Now, that's just the warm-up. Yeah. Okay, second verse. Here we go. Now, take a little break. Take a little break. That was the warm-up. Well, the river folk came and they knocked on the door. When Big D found what they were looking for. And they gave the gold and the firstborn child so they could learn to dance, make the fish go wild. It was the biggest thing to ever make the news. There was no more Alapaha blues. They were doing the catfish. Wiggle, wiggle. Now, here's the big one. Here's the grand finale. You put one hand up in the air. Put that hand up in the air, yeah. And you wiggle it around like a fish that's scared. Oh, I'm watching. You put one foot up in the sky. Put that foot up in the sky. And you bring it down low like a church fish fry. Bring it down low. You sway your body side to side. Make a jump and you're doing it right. You were doing the catfish. Wiggle, wiggle. Y'all keep wiggling. I'm going to watch. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, I'm going to pick my 3 favorite ones. Get ready. I can't see your names, but I'm about to. Y'all just don't stop. Just imagine the music's in your head. Please don't stop. Keep going. Keep the music's in your head. Keep wiggling. Ashton, okay, you got one. Now, Deidre, you got one. Okay. Now, what? Keep. Anybody else still want to wiggle? Who's Tammy? Tammy, there you go. That's 3 right there, guys. Oh, geez. It is like 11:50. That was a lot of fun. Hey, I really do appreciate every one of you. Thanks for the hard work you're doing for the students in Alaska. And feel free to email me, contact me, tweet me. Get any fun pictures? I'd like to see those. And if you want, make sure you email me. Thanks, Ashton, for putting that in. Email me, and I'll make sure I get that shirt to you.
Brian, what's on your shirt? That's from The Office, right? That's when Kevin dropped the chili.
Yeah, I think I was muted. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's Kevin's chili from The Office. Yeah.
I love that. I need one of those. Yay!
Thank you. Woo!
Yes, Brian, thank you so much for being here at almost midnight your time. We really appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions for Brian, either in the chat or over your mic before we let him go to bed? Although after that song, I feel like now you're energized to do a whole nother PD session for somebody in Japan or something.
You're muted.
Yeah, I can't go to sleep just yet. It's probably gonna take a little while to calm down after all that catfish dancing. I was so inspired by what I saw from you guys.
Well, I will say before he goes, I want to make sure that you know there are 2 more times that you can see him for sure. One is the upcoming Ed Camp, which I'm going to talk about in a few minutes. And 2, he is a speaker at ASTI this year. So make sure you check him out there.
Yeah. I'll be there. Hey, thanks, guys. Y'all have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for coming. We loved having you. And I know I'll definitely be watching you at Ed Camp and again at ASTI, and super excited for it. Before we close out the night, we want to let you guys know some next steps. Tonight has been fun. We're really excited to see some new faces. But the party, the learning doesn't stop tonight. GEG Alaska is something that we want to continue in the future, and we would love if all of you come back and continue to participate, interact, share, and have fun with us. So first, Ashton.
Yeah. Hey guys, my name is Ashton. I teach 6th grade 3 language arts in Fairbanks. I'm also a Google certified trainer, but this leadership part here is just asking if you want to be involved in helping grow our group and putting on events and social media and anything that you think you could offer to this team, whether you are Googly or not, whether you're certified or not, does not matter. We don't really judge or say, oh yeah, you're not Googly enough. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to share any knowledge you have. So if you are interested in joining us for leadership opportunities, we would love to see you next Tuesday at 7 p.m. And you can join on the link right there, which I think somebody's going to pop in chat in case you want to join now. So you can just go ahead and say, hey, I'm interested and I'd like to offer whatever you have to offer for us. So.
Yeah, thank you. And kind of going off of that, we, as a new group, we are all very busy. I think everybody all can say that they're so busy. So it's almost even pointless to bring up because that's like an understanding. So to continue this group, many hands do make light work. So if you had a really great time tonight, or if you just really love Google and want to get involved and you're not really sure how, but you just know you'd like to continue to do more, come to this meeting and we'll talk about what those options may be.
Yeah, and I am going to quickly say that our monthly meetings will be Tuesdays, once a month, and the next one is October the 27th. We have left it as to be determined because we want to make sure that we are meeting the needs of the people that we are serving, you, our attendees. So I have attached, if you click on my Bitmoji where it says vote, we would love to hear from you what you want the time of the meeting to be, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, 7 to 8, or 8 to 9. If you would pick your top choices and just let us know. We do know that it's going to be October the 27th. And so as soon as we get the results from that survey, then we will let you know. And the good part is, even if we end up at a time that's not always convenient for you, every PD is recorded. To me, that's the best part. We had a person that goes to our school, and she I would have never expected her to attend these meetings. And she said to me, I went back and I watched some of those videos because I really wanted to know how to use the tool. And the meetings weren't right for her this summer. So everything we've been doing from all summer for Google Meet and Google Form and Google Sheets and Google Sites, there's some amazing PD already there on the YouTube. So if you haven't gone there, you are missing it, because a little bit, a lot, you can watch as much as you want. If nothing else, you got nothing else, which I know you've already gotten a lot out of tonight. But if you've got nothing else, make sure that you follow that YouTube channel, because everything we do, we're going to record and put it there. That's the goal of why we're here. We want to make sure that we're providing you PD. And if that's the way you get it, then we're happy to serve you if that's the way it is. So please make sure that you fill out that form and let us know what times are good for you, and make sure you follow our YouTube channel. And we hope to see you at our next monthly meeting on October 27th.
Tana, this is Nate. Will there be an agenda before every meeting?
Yeah, we'll post, the announcement of this is the meeting and this is what we're doing. So I'm sure we'll post it on Twitter. We've got all these ways, the website, the Google group, and Twitter. We'll say what the meeting is going to be. So if that's a specific topic that you want to be here for, and then, it'll definitely be announced ahead of time.
And then Tammy, you want to talk about this slide?
Yes, I do. So there's lots of ways to connect with us. So we already talked about our website, what you can find on there, lots of resources there for you. And then also we have our Google group, which Laura told you all about. You can email us, and the email's right there. And you guys, on the bottom right of the slide, this is a bit.ly to this slide deck. So you can have the links right there with you. And if you are on Twitter, please follow us at GEG Alaska, and also include us in your tweets. And then if you want all of these wonderful resources, including some other ones, like we have a couple of crowdsourced documents. We have all of those links in a Wakelet, and in the bottom left of this slide, you'll see the bit.ly to that Wakelet, and then you can have everything in one that you have on the website, plus a little bit more in that one place.
Awesome. Thanks, Tammy. And before we move on to the last slide, I do want to point out what Tana said in the chat. So in the past, our professional development has just been providing PD. Moving forward with our monthly meetings, we're going to kind of change our format a little bit, where the first 30 minutes will be dedicated to professional development, and the last 30 minutes will be dedicated towards interaction and communicating with each other, asking any questions that we may have, talking about strengths, weaknesses, pain points, whatever that may be, so we can connect more as a community. And then the very last thing is we do have a feedback survey for today. So if there's something that you liked and would like to see again, or if you're interested to present for GEG Alaska or have any ideas of what you'd like to see in the future, please fill out that feedback survey for us. And then thank you so much again for spending an hour with us. We really appreciate your support and hope that we continue to see you guys in the future. And then very last, before we leave, Tana has one more announcement for another exciting event coming up.
Yes. As I said, Ed Camp is going to be October the 17th from 9 to 1:30. So you can go on and register. I have included the registration on that slide, and I'm sure somebody who's super fancy will add it to the chat. Please join us. If you don't know what an Ed Camp is, it is basically an opportunity to show up, tell us what you want to learn about, register, tell us what you want to learn about. Or you can just show up that day and tell us what you want to learn about, and then we create groups, and we have different Zoom rooms, and we'll have it all lined out of where people can go. But the best part is we talk about what you want to talk about. We do normally we don't really have like pre-planned presenters. But Brian is going to return. He's donating some swag. He's going to be one of the many options if you want to come to. He's not taking over the whole group. We also have Sam Jordan, who is from Juneau, and he's going to share some information that and have a conversation about digital citizenship resources. So those are two people who reached out to us and said, hey, they wanted to know what they could do to share that information. So they're just one of the many opportunities. Everything else is whatever people want to talk about. So please join us. Mark your calendar for October 17th. It's a Saturday from 9 to 1:30. You're welcome to wear your jammies. I can promise you I'll be wearing mine.
All right. And that about wraps it up for tonight. Thank you guys again so much for coming. This was a lot of information, a lot of forms and different events here at the end that we announced. So if you're not on our Google group yet, please join that, and we'll be sure to share this slide deck there as well. Otherwise, thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see you, if at the very least, at our next monthly meeting on October 27th. Thanks, guys.